Welcome back, everybody. We're here for another episode of What's on the Bench. And if you've been following this series, you know that this is a show. It's I call it a show because I think it might be entertaining, or at least it's my best attempt to be entertaining. But it's basically my show showing you cool new parts for mostly the Honda Monkey, or if it's for another bike, we'll mention that too. But for the most part, cool parts for the Honda Monkey. And what you might have been noticing has been a trend of me doing these shows about a lot of exhaust systems lately. So we're going to continue that again today. And I hope this is exciting for y'all because it's exciting for me. I've mentioned many times that I love exhaust systems. I want to try every one of them, and I kind of think we're making some progress to being able to do that. So it seems like everybody's kind of picked up on the fact that I do these videos and giving me a chance to review their exhaust systems. So people are digging this and getting on board, and I've been lucky to test out a couple of exhaust systems and show y'all what's up with them. So these are the first basically, these are the first videos of the series that I do on exhaust. So this is like an unboxing video where we go over the exhaust system, try to give you a little bit of history and background of the brand, show you the exhaust coming out of the box, show you what's in the package, basically like your experience of what you would get when the box shows up to you. And of course, to keep with tradition, I always have a beer during these episodes. So my beer of choice today is a Founders All Day IPA. All Day IPA. And this is they say it's a session ale. Session ale means that you're drinking in sessions, which is just basically drinking a lot. And it's a good sessionable beer. So I guess it means it's good to just get drunk in a session fashion with beer. I don't know. Anyways, this is a IPA that's meant to be pretty much crushed all day long. So what that means is it's got a lower alcohol content. I'm looking at it right now, 4.7. That's a good sweet spot for alcohol content because your standard Budweisers and regular beers are probably in the low 4s. Light beers might be 3.5 to 4. So what you're getting is a good flavor of an IPA, good quality beer with lower alcohol content, which makes it sessionable, which means you can just drink a lot of it and not get totally smashed. And that's what you want to do during the day. So that's why this is called All Day IPA. It's an IPA you can drink all day. It's from Founders Brewery. So I don't know if you can see that on top there. Let's see. Right on top there, you see Founders. Founders is an American microbrewery, probably bigger than a micro now, and they put out some really good beer. So if you haven't tried a Founders yet, go ahead and try one out. They have some good stuff. So getting on with the show today, on the bench you see another box. So this box, what could it be? Well, you already know it's an exhaust, right? So let's get to the meat and potatoes of the story here. Basically, what's behind me is a Supertrapp exhaust system for the Honda Monkey. As you can see, I'm wearing my Man in the Box shirt today. One of the most comfortable ones I have, by the way. They have the exclusive rights to sell this exhaust. So you can only get this exhaust from MNNTHBX.com. MNNTHBX.com. I can't say enough about these guys at Man in the Box. They're really good dudes. I've met them before at the first edition of the Barber Small Bore. Just super nice guys, just really good to work with, just down to earth guys that basically run the same kind of business like I run, but I do Miatas, they do small bores. So it's easy for me to relate to what they're doing because I do the same thing, just with a different product. And I know what they're getting at. They have a really cool vibe. They put out some really nice designs, really good custom parts that are their own creations, all the things that I try to do with Miatas. And at the same time, they try to retail all the other things that they think are cool that you might think are cool for the small bore motorcycles. right? So that's a good mantra to live by if you're a small business and you found a niche. Then you just kind of pound away at it and you make some cool stuff. So that's it, basically. Can't say enough about those guys. And of course, they reached out to me for this exhaust and asked if I wanted to test it out. And I said, absolutely. I love exhaust, and I don't think I'm going to find my favorite exhaust until I've tried them all. So once I think my last one that I've installed is my favorite, I install the next one, and either I'm impressed or I'm not impressed. I don't know. It's easy to impress me. I like them all. I just think each one is cool and unique and has its own special characteristics about it. So, Supertrapp. Who is Supertrapp? Well, Supertrapp is an American company that is going on 40 years of being an exhaust manufacturer, and they got their start in motorcycles, basically. Back in 1971, out of California, an inventor named Paul Mueller, or Moeller, I don't know, M-O-L-L-E-R. In the late 60s, he was heavily invested in trying to invent a flying automobile. That's pretty rad. Obviously, he needed a lot of money to do that, and how was he going to generate funds? So he invented the tunable exhaust system for motorcycles. And by tunable, I mean the Supertrapp is definitely unique exhaust, and when you see it, you'll know it's a Supertrapp. It's unmistakable. So basically the way it works is it has tunable discs that are installed at the end of the pipe. And you would think it would be a restriction, and it is in a way. And that's what you do, is you control the back pressure and the restriction of the flow by subtracting or adding discs. And this is a pretty unique design. And if you're a historic sports car person, you might have seen this on Porsches before. Porsches often like to use Supertrapp exhaust. So this brand, Supertrapp, started off in motorcycles, created a patented tunable disc system for the motorcycle, which then evolved into automobiles and cars, and really found a good place in racing, because the tunable aspect of it means that if you basically you're tuning your motor and you can match the exhaust flow to your motor. So that's a unique thing. So here we are, fast forward 2021. I think this exhaust came out back in 2019 or so. The first time I saw it was actually at the Barber Small Bore event, where the Composimo lowered the first monkey that was dropped and stretched by Composimo. Thing broke the internet when it came out. That had, I think, one of the prototype Supertrapp exhausts on it, and instantly it was like kind of, you were drawn to it, like, oh, what's that exhaust? I think the Yoshi was about the only exhaust out at that time. So this is something new, and it has the megaphone look to it, which it's not just a straight pipe into a can. Basically starts off as a regular pipe, and then the muffler sort of pipe is like a megaphone, so it gets wider and fatter towards the end. So we'll show you that when we take it out of the box. So basically, that's the signature feature of the Supertrapp, is the tunable disc. You're not going to find that on any other exhaust systems. The only thing you might find is the removable baffles or inserts to control the sound. So that's a little bit different than how the Supertrapp works. So that's brief history of Supertrapp, and it's a pretty cool vintage looking exhaust, which goes well with the Monkey from what I've seen. I've not ever had one on the bike. So that's where we're going to go from here. We're going to open up the box and we're going to check out the exhaust. So let's have a look at the Supertrapp exhaust for the Honda Monkey. Alright, so let's get this box open and see what's inside, even though we know it is the Supertrapp exhaust for the Honda Monkey. Packaged well, which of course is what you want when you get an exhaust. And we see that is clearly the heat shield. We'll put that over there. This is the megaphone style pipe, muffler, silencer, however you want to call it. Put that over here. And we have the header pipe. Looks like it's got the step design. We'll check it out more when we get it out of the packaging. And got some stuff hiding down here. There's the patented tunable discs. So that's going to be fun. Like tuning and tinkering. And we have our hardware package. And we have our instruction manual. Okay. So let's get these things out of the packaging and check them out a little bit better. We're going to leave this in the package because looks like there's a lot of parts and pieces in there that I don't really need right away. So we'll cover those when we get to installing it. We can tell that this is a really nice, bright, polished stainless steel system. It's got the O2 sensor bung in it already. Nice thick flange. And it looks like pipe's got a nice little flare in it. Here, there's a spacer. And what we're going to do a little bit different than we did before is we're going to measure the diameters of this system. I have a friend out there named Rodney Sargent who has been asking me on all of these exhaust systems, what's the diameter of the pipe? And I never thought to do that. Never thought to measure it. So we're going to do that with this. As you can see, it's got some visible welds on it, obviously. It's got some pretty interesting heat soaking going on. It's always cool to see. And pretty standard fare. Nothing crazy with the finish. It's got a nice bright look to it. And here's the heat shield. It's basically a nice formed piece of stainless steel as well. And it's not a chrome, but it's more like a brushed aluminum finish. So it's not shiny chrome, more or less, but it's got that dull but bright aluminum finish on it. Okay, so we're looking in the pipe here, and this has a perforated core, much like all the other exhaust systems, but it's straight through. There is no baffling, and what it does have is the packing. So being a little bit bigger and fatter and round, I think this might be a little bit more of a muffled sound than the other systems, but that's just my assumption. Haven't had it on the bike yet, so we can't tell. And it says U.S. Forestry Service approved. Spark arrestor T100 or 102 requires closed end cap. So that's the part we put on the back, obviously. So when you have the tunable discs on there, that is spark arrestor approved according to the U.S. government. So we have the hardware kit. No need to open that right now, but these are just the pieces that you're going to need to put it on the bike. And not getting into this, we can see these are the tunable discs. So basically it looks like a little instruction in there and some anti-seize, and let's say as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 discs. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 discs and an end cap. So we'll get into the instructions when we install it on what those actually mean and how you can tune your bike using them. Of course, the instructions here, and there's a good look at the tunable disc, and there's a torque sequence, and then there's tuning tips. So for maximum performance gains, your Supertrapp system is supplied with 8 discs. Okay, so there's 8. We suggest using 6 with the closed end cap on a stock motor. That's kind of interesting. We're not entirely stock, but we're not too modified. So, as always, making performance modifications may affect the fuel delivery system of your motorcycle. It is recommended by Supertrapp to have your fuel delivery system tuned to ensure maximum performance and reliability. This work should always be performed by a certified technician. So that's a big question in the monkey community is, if I install an exhaust, do I need to have my ECU retuned? The answer is no, not necessarily. You do not need to have it retuned. Basically, the bike will not run too lean if you just do the exhaust. But if you do an exhaust and an intake, it might run a little bit too lean. But if you want to get maximum performance out of your increased flow, it is always advisable to tune your ECU to support that increased flow. Whether that's worth it or not on just an exhaust upgrade, I couldn't say. But it's probably worth looking at least, because if you can use a little bit more fuel because you have a little bit more airflow going through the motor, and it's going to pick up a little bit of horsepower no matter what. Alright, so now we're going to measure this system. We're going to do this in millimeters. This caliper gets a little bit exact with imperial measurements, so millimeters are just easier. So it starts, again, at 25 millimeter. Then it goes to 35. Then it goes to 38. The inside diameter is going to be 22.5. So that step design is something that I've seen in most of these Monkey exhausts, and that is to aid airflow. So when you step an exhaust system like that, the air picks up speed as it goes into that next size of pipe, and that's pretty common. You see that a lot with small block V8s. They have stepped headers, and it's just to aid in the speed of the exhaust and the gas flow going through it. So pretty common on these systems, but those are the measurements for those out there like Rodney that are building power in their bikes, and they want to know how big these pipes are. Because some of these builds, especially big bore kits, you start, your needs of the motor start dictating a little bit bigger of an exhaust, and some of the off-the-shelf exhausts might not be big enough. So with that, hopefully that helps you understand how big these pipes are. And I'm going to be doing another video where I measure the other pipes that I have as well, including the Yoshimura and the Termignoni. So also the TB parts pipe. So we're going to do measurement comparisons from here on out. I'm going to try to catch up on the pipes that I've done before. I still have them, so we can basically get a comparison on that from now on. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that brief history on the Supertrapp exhaust, the look around, the unbox. Sometimes I'm not quite sure why people enjoy unboxing videos. Doesn't it ruin the surprise? Isn't that like watching somebody else open up your Christmas presents? I don't know. But hey, if y'all like it, I like filming them. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, I want to thank MNNTHBX for participating in my grand exhaust experiment project for the Honda Monkey. This is something that I've been floating around, hinting to in other videos, and I think I'm going to go full force with it now, which involves trying to sample the sounds and highlight every exhaust system I can for the Honda Monkey. So I think I'm on, let's see, stock, Yoshi, TB parts, Termignoni, and so it's going to be like my 5th exhaust system that's been on the bike. I have a lot of fun doing this. I'm kind of using my bike as like an experiment piece now, and putting stuff on it, seeing if it works, seeing what it's about, and showing that to y'all and helping you guys make educated decisions on whether you want it on your bike or not. So once again, thanks for participating, MNNTHBX guys. You rock. So I'm really looking forward to getting this exhaust on the bike. As always, it's really exciting to fire it up for the first time and see how that new exhaust sounds. I think this one might sound a little bit different than the other ones just because of that tunable disc. So I'm looking forward to it because so far all Honda Monkey exhausts sound pretty similar. So when you get wide open, that's where they kind of sound the most similar, and on idle they all kind of sound the same. Anyways, it's always interesting to see who's got the most different sounding exhaust. So if you got a different sounding exhaust out there and you're a manufacturer, send it over to me. We'll give it a try. That's it. I'm going to shut it down. Hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you did, give me a like, throw me a subscribe, hit the notifications bell to know when I come out with new videos. I'm trying to do 2 videos a week nowadays. It's pretty tough, pretty hard, but I'm trying to crank them out for y'all, and I have fun doing it too. So the next one's going to be the installation video. We'll tag that at the end. You can jump to that and see how we install it, and then after that, going to do the riding review, of course. Then after that, which is my favorite, is the ultimate sound test, where we go out to the track and we tear it up. We try to give it all she's got, see how it sounds in thrash mode. So look forward to those videos, and I look forward to shooting those. So see you next time.